Hadīth 252. Narrated Abu Musa, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, free the captives, feed the hungry and pay a visit to the sick. Hadīth 253. Narrated Abu Juhayfa, I asked Ali, do you have the knowledge of any divine inspiration besides what is in Allah's book? Ali replied, no, by him who splits the grain of corn and creates the soul. I don't think we have such knowledge, but we have the ability of understanding which Allah may endow a person with, so that he may understand the Quran, and we have what is written in this paper as well. I asked, what is written in this paper? He replied, the regulations of blood money, the freeing of captives, and the judgment that no Muslim should be killed for killing an infidel. Hadīth 254. Narrated Anas bin Malik, some Ansari men asked permission from Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Allow us not to take the ransom of our nephew Al-Abbas. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, replied, do not leave a single dirham thereof. Hadīth 255. In another narration, Anas said, some wealth was brought to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, from Bahrain. Al-Abbas came to him and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Give me some of it, as I have paid my and Aqil's ransom. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, take, and gave him in his garment. Hadīth 256. Narrated Jubayr, who was among the captives of the Battle of Badr, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, reciting Surah At-Tur in the Maghrib prayer. Hadīth 257. Narrated Salamah bin al-Aqwa, an infidel spy came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, while he was on a journey. The spy sat with the companions of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and started talking and then went away. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to his companions, chase and kill him. So, I killed him. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then gave him the belongings of the killed spy, in addition to his share of the war booty. Hadīth 258. Narrated Amr bin Maymun, Umar, after he was stabbed, instructed his would-be successor, saying, I urge him, that is, the new caliph, to take care of those non-Muslims who are under the protection of Allah and His Apostle, and that he should observe the convention agreed upon with them, and fight on their behalf, to secure their safety, and he should not overtax them beyond their capability. Hadīth 259. Narrated Sa'id bin Jubayr, Ibn Abbas said, Thursday. What great thing took place on Thursday? Then he started weeping till his tears wetted the gravels of the ground. Then he said, on Thursday, the illness of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, was aggravated, and he said, fetch me writing materials so that I may have something written to you after which you will never go astray. The people, present there, differed in this matter, and people should not differ before a prophet. They said, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, is seriously sick. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, let me alone, as the state in which I am now, is better than what you are calling me for. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, on his deathbed, gave 3 orders saying, expel the pagans from the Arabian Peninsula, respect and give gifts to the foreign delegates as you have seen me dealing with them. I forgot the 3rd order. Yaqub bin Muhammad said, I asked al-Mughirah bin Abdur Rahman about the Arabian Peninsula, and he said, it comprises Makkah, Medina, al-Yamamah and Yemen. Yaqub added, and al-Urj, the beginning of Tihamah. Hadīth 260. Narrated Ibn Umar saw a silken cloak being sold in the market, and he brought it to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Buy this cloak and adorn yourself with it on the Eid festivals and on meeting the delegations. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, replied, this is the dress for the one who will have no share in the hereafter, or, this is worn by one who will have no share in the hereafter. After some time had passed, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, sent a silken cloak to Umar. Umar took it and brought it to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. You have said that this is the dress of that who will have no share in the hereafter, or, this is worn by one who will have no share in the hereafter, yet you have sent me this. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I have sent it so that you may sell it or fulfill with it some of your needs. Hadīth 261. Narrated Ibn Umar, Umar and a group of the companions of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, set out with the Prophet to Ibn Sayyad. He found him playing with some boys near the hillocks of Bani Magala. Ibn Sayyad at that time was nearing his puberty. He did not notice the Prophet's presence, till the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, stroked him on the back with his hand and said, Ibn Sayyad, do you testify that I am Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him? Ibn Sayyad looked at him and said, I testify that you are the apostle of the illiterates. Then Ibn Sayyad asked the Prophet, do you testify that I am the apostle of Allah? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to him, I believe in Allah and his apostles. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to Ibn Sayyad, what do you see? Ibn Sayyad replied, true people and false ones visit me. The Prophet said, your mind is confused as to this matter. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, added, I have kept something, in my mind, for you. Ibn Sayyad said, it is ad-duk. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to him, shame be on you. You cannot cross your limits. On that, Umar said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, allow me to chop his head off. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if he should be him, that is, a Dajjal, then you cannot overpower him, and should he not be him, then you are not going to benefit by murdering him. Hadīth 262. Narrated Ibn Umar, later on, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, once again, went along with Ubay bin Ka'b to the garden of date palms where Ibn Sayyad was staying. When the Prophet entered the garden, he started hiding himself behind the trunks of the date palms as he wanted to hear something from Ibn Sayyad before the latter could see him. Ibn Sayyad was lying in his bed, covered with a velvet sheet from where his murmurs were heard. Ibn Sayyad's mother saw the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, while he was hiding himself behind the trunks of the date palms. She addressed Ibn Sayyad, O Saf. And this was his name. Ibn Sayyad got up. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, had this woman let him to himself, he would have revealed the reality of his case. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, got up amongst the people, glorifying Allah as he deserves. He mentioned ad-Dajjal, saying, I warn you about him, that is, ad-Dajjal, and there is no prophet who did not warn his nation about him, and Noah warned his nation about him, but I tell you a statement which no prophet informed his nation of. You should understand that he is a one-eyed man and Allah is not one-eyed. Hadīth 263. Narrated Usama bin Zayd, I asked the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, during his Hajj, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, where will you stay tomorrow? He said, has Aqil left for us any house? He then added, tomorrow we will stay at Kaif Bani Kinana, that is, Al-Muhasab, where the pagans of Quraysh took an oath of kufr, that is, to be loyal to heathenism, in that Bani Kinana got allied with Quraysh against Bani Hashim on the terms that they would not deal with the members of this tribe or give them shelter. Az-Zuhri said, Kaif means valley. Hadīth 264. Narrated Aslam, Umar bin al-Khattab appointed a freed slave of his, called Hunay, manager of the Himā, that is, a pasture devoted for grazing the animals of the zakat or other specified animals. He said to him, O Hunay, don't oppress the Muslims and ward off their curse, invocations against you, for the invocation of the oppressed is responded to, by Allah, and allow the shepherd having a few camels and those having a few sheep, to graze their animals, and take care not to allow the livestock of Abdurrahman bin Auf and the livestock of Uthman bin Affan. For if their livestock should perish, then they have their farms and gardens, while those who own a few camels and those who own a few sheep, if their livestock should perish, would bring their dependents to me and appeal for help, saying, O Chief of the Believers! O Chief of the Believers! Would I then neglect them? No, of course not. So, I find it easier to let them have water and grass rather than to give them gold and silver, from the Muslims' treasury. By Allah, these people think that I have been unjust to them. This is their land, and during the pre-Islamic period, they fought for it and they embraced Islam, willingly, while it was in their possession. By him in whose hand my life is. Were it not for the animals, in my custody, which I give to be ridden for striving in Allah's cause, I would not have turned even a span of their land into a hima. Hadīth 265. Narrated Hudayfa, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to us, list the names of those people who have announced that they are Muslims. So, we listed 1,500 men. Then we wondered, should we be afraid of infidels, although we are 1,500 in number? No doubt, we witnessed ourselves being afflicted with such bad trials that one would have to offer the prayer alone in fear. Narrated Al-Amash, we listed the Muslims and found them 500. And Abu Muawiyah said, between 600 to 700. Hadīth 266. Narrated Ibn Abbas, a man came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. I have enlisted in the army for such and such Ghazwa, and my wife is leaving for Hajj. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Go back and perform Hajj with your wife. Hadīth 267. Narrated Az-Zuhri, as follows. Narrated Abu Hurairah, we were in the company of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, in a Ghazwa, and he remarked about a man who claimed to be a Muslim, saying, This man is from the people of the hell fire. When the battle started, the man fought violently till he got wounded. Somebody said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. The man whom you described as being from the people of the hell fire fought violently today and died. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, He will go to the hell fire. Some people were on the point of doubting the truth of what the Prophet had said. While they were in this state, suddenly someone said that he was still alive but severely wounded. When night fell, he lost patience and committed suicide. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was informed of that, and he said, Allah is greater. I testify that I am Allah's slave and his apostle. Then he ordered Bilal to announce amongst the people, None will enter paradise but a Muslim, and Allah may support this religion, that is, Islam, even with a disobedient man. Hadīth 268. Narrated Anas bin Malik, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, delivered a sermon and said, Zayd received the flag and was martyred, then Ja'far took it and was martyred, then Abdullāh bin Rawaha took it and was martyred, and then Khalid bin al-Walid took it without being appointed, and Allah gave him victory. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, added, I am not pleased, or they will not be pleased, that they should remain alive with us, while his eyes were shedding tears. Hadīth 269. Narrated Anas, the people of the tribes of Ril, Dakwan, Usayyah and Bani Lihyan came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and claimed that they had embraced Islam, and they requested him to support them with some men to fight their own people. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, supported them with 70 men from the Ansar whom we used to call Al-Qurra, that is, scholars, who, out of piety, used to cut wood during the day and pray all the night. So, those people took the 70 men till they reached a place called Bir Mauna, where they betrayed and martyred them. So, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, invoked evil on the tribe of Ril, Dakwan and Bani Lihyan for 1 month in the prayer. Narrated Qatada, Anas told us that they, that is, Muslims, used to recite a Quranic verse concerning those martyrs, which was, O Allah, let our people be informed on our behalf that we have met our Lord who has got pleased with us and made us pleased. Then the verse was cancelled. Hadith 270. Narrated Abu Talha, whenever the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, conquered some people, he would stay in their town for 3 days. Hadith 271. Narrated Anas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, performed Umrah, setting out from Al-Jirana where he distributed the war booty of Hunayn. Hadith 272. Narrated Nafi, a horse of Ibn Umar fled and the enemy took it. Then the Muslims conquered the enemy and the horse was returned to him during the lifetime of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. And also, once a slave of Ibn Umar fled and joined the Byzantines, and when the Muslims conquered them, Khalid bin al-Walid returned the slave to him after the death of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadith 273. Narrated Nafi, once a slave of Ibn Umar fled and joined the Byzantines. Khalid bin al-Walid got him back and returned him to Abdullāh bin Umar. Once a horse of Ibn Umar also ran away and followed the Byzantines, and he, that is, Khalid, got it back and returned it to Abdullāh. Hadith 274. Narrated Ibn Umar, that he was riding a horse on the day the Muslims fought against the Byzantines, and the commander of the Muslim army was Khalid bin al-Walid, who had been appointed by Abu Bakr. The enemy took the horse away, and when the enemy was defeated, Khalid returned the horse to him. Hadith 275. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah, I said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, we have slaughtered a young sheep of ours and have ground 1 saw of barley. So, I invite you along with some persons. So, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said in a loud voice, O the people of the trench, Jabir has prepared sur, so come along. Hadith 276. Narrated Khalid, the daughter of Khalid bin Sa'id, I went to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, with my father, and I was wearing a yellow shirt. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Sunnah, Sunnah. Abdullah, the narrator, said that Sunnah meant good in the Ethiopian language. I then started playing with the seal of prophethood, in between the Prophet's shoulders, and my father rebuked me harshly for that. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Leave her, and then Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, invoked Allah to grant me a long life, by saying, thrice, wear this dress till it is worn out, and then wear it till it is worn out, and then wear it till it is worn out. The narrator adds, it is said that she lived for a long period, wearing that yellow dress till its color became dark because of long wear. Hadith 277. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Al-Hasan bin Ali took a date from the dates of the Sadaqah and put it in his mouth. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to him, in Persian, Kuk, Kuk. Don't you know that we do not eat the Sadaqah, that is, what is given in charity? Charity is the dirt of the people. Hadith 278. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, got up amongst us and mentioned Al-Ghulul, emphasized its magnitude and declared that it was a great sin, saying, Don't commit Ghulul, for I should not like to see anyone amongst you on the day of resurrection, carrying over his neck a sheep that will be bleating, or carrying over his neck a horse that will be neighing. Such a man will be saying, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, intercede with Allah for me, and I will reply, I can't help you, for I have conveyed Allah's message to you. Nor should I like to see a man carrying over his neck a camel that will be grunting. Such a man will say, O Allah's apostle, intercede with Allah for me, and I will say, I can't help you for I have conveyed Allah's message to you, or one carrying over his neck gold and silver and saying, O Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, intercede with Allah for me, and I will say, I can't help you for I have conveyed Allah's message to you, or one carrying clothes that will be fluttering, and the man will say, O Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, intercede with Allah for me. And I will say, I can't help you, for I have conveyed Allah's message to you. Hadīth 279. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, there was a man who looked after the family and the belongings of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and he was called Kirkira. The man died and Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, he is in the hell fire. The people then went to look at him and found in his place a cloak he had stolen from the war booty. Hadīth 280. Narrated Abayah bin Rifā, my grandfather, Rafi said, we were in the company of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, at Dhul Hulayfa, and the people suffered from hunger. We got some camels and sheep, as booty, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was still behind the people. They hurried and put the cooking pots on the fire. When he came, he ordered that the cooking pots should be upset and then he distributed the booty, amongst the people, regarding 10 sheep as equal to 1 camel. Then a camel fled and the people chased it till they got tired, as they had a few horses, for chasing it. So a man threw an arrow at it and caused it to stop, with Allah's permission. On that, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, some of these animals behave like wild beasts, so, if any animal flees from you, deal with it in the same way. My grandfather asked, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, we hope, or are afraid, that we may meet the enemy tomorrow and we have no knives. Can we slaughter our animals with canes? Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, replied, if the instrument used for killing causes the animal to bleed profusely and if Allah's name is mentioned on killing it, then eat its meat, that is, it is lawful, but don't use a tooth or a nail, and I am telling you the reason, a tooth is a bone, and slaughtering with a bone is forbidden, and a nail is the slaughtering instrument of the Ethiopians. Hadīth 281. Narrated Qais, Jarir bin Abdullāh said to me, Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said to me, won't you relieve me from Dhul Khulayfa? Dhul Khulayfa was a house where the tribe of Qathum used to stay, and it used to be called Ka'batul Yamaniyah. So I proceeded with 150 men, from the tribe of Ahmas who were good cavalry. I informed the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that I could not sit firm on horses, so he stroked me on the chest with his hand and I noticed his finger marks on my chest. He invoked, O Allah, make him firm, and a guiding and rightly guided man. Jarir set out towards that place, dismantled and burnt it, and then sent the good news to Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. The messenger of Jarir said to Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, O Allah's apostle. By him who has sent you with the truth, I did not come to you till it, that is, the house, had been turned black, like a scabby camel, covered with tar. So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, invoked Allah to bless the horses of the men of Ahmas 5 times. Hadīth 282. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, on the day of the conquest of Makkah, there is no migration, after the conquest, but jihad and good intentions, and when you are called for jihad, you should immediately respond to the call. Hadīth 283. Narrated Abu Uthman an-Nahdi, Mujashi bin Mas'ud, took his brother Mujalid bin Mas'ud to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, this is Mujalid and he will give a pledge of allegiance to you for migration. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there is no migration after the conquest of Makkah, but I will take his pledge of allegiance for Islam. Hadith 284. Narrated I and Ubay bin Umar went to Aisha while she was staying near Thabir, that is, a mountain. She said, "There is no migration after Allah gave his Prophet victory over Makkah." Hadith 285. Narrated Sa'd bin Ubaidah, Abu Abdurrahman, who was one of the supporters of Uthman, said to Abu Talha, who was one of the supporters of Ali, "I perfectly know what encouraged your leader, that is, Ali, to shed blood. I heard him saying, once the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, sent me and Az-Zubair saying, proceed to such and such a Rauda, place, where you will find a lady whom Hatib has given a letter. So when we arrived at our Rauda, we requested the lady to hand over the letter to us. She said, Hatib has not given me any letter. We said to her, take out the letter or else we will strip off your clothes. So she took it out of her braid. So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, sent for Hatib, who came, and said, don't hurry in judging me, for by Allah, I have not become a disbeliever, and my love to Islam is increasing. The reason for writing this letter was, that there is none of your companions but has relatives in Mecca who look after their families and property, while I have nobody there, so I wanted to do them some favor, so that they might look after my family and property. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, believed him. Umar said, allow me to chop off his, that is, Hatib's, neck as he has done hypocrisy. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to Umar, who knows, perhaps Allah has looked at the warriors of Badr and said, to them, do whatever you like, for I have forgiven you. Abu Abdurrahman added, so this is what encouraged him, that is, Ali. Hadith 286. Narrated Ibn Abi Mulaika, Ibn Az-Zubayr said to Ibn Ja'far, do you remember when I, you, and Ibn Abbas went out to receive Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him? Ibn Ja'far replied in the affirmative. Ibn Az-Zubayr added, and Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, made us, that is, I and Ibn Abbas, ride along with him and left you. Hadith 287. Narrated Sa'd bin Yazid, I, along with some boys, went out to receive Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, at Thaniyat al-Wada. Hadith 288. Narrated Abdullāh, when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, returned, from Jihad, he would say takbir thrice and add, we are returning, if Allah wishes, with repentance and worshipping and praising, our Lord, and prostrating ourselves before our Lord. Allah fulfilled his promise and helped his slave, and he alone defeated the infidel clans. Hadith 289. Narrated Anas bin Malik, we were in the company of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, while returning from Usfan, and Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, was riding his she-camel keeping Safiyyah bint Huyai riding behind him. His she-camel slipped and both of them fell down. Abu Talha jumped from his camel and said, O Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. May Allah sacrifice me for you. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, take care of the lady. So, Abu Talha covered his face with a garment and went to Safiyyah and covered her with it, and then he set right the condition of their she-camel so that both of them rode, and we were encircling Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, like a cover. When we approached Medina, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, we are returning with repentance and worshipping and praising our Lord. He kept on saying this till he entered Medina. Hadith 290. Narrated Anas bin Malik, that he and Abu Talha came in the company of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and Safiyyah was accompanying the Prophet, who let her ride behind him on his she-camel. During the journey, the she-camel slipped and both the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and his wife fell down. Abu Talha, the sub-narrator thinks that Anas said that Abu Talha jumped from his camel quickly, said, O Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. May Allah sacrifice me for your sake. Did you get hurt? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, replied, No, but take care of the lady. Abu Talha covered his face with his garment and proceeded towards her and covered her with his garment, and she got up. He then set right the condition of their she-camel, and both of them, that is, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and his wife, rode and proceeded till they approached Medina. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, We are returning with repentance and worshipping and praising our Lord. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, kept on saying this statement till he entered Medina. Hadīth 291. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, I was on a journey in the company of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and when we reached Medina, he said to me, Enter the mosque and offer 2 rakat. Hadīth 292. Narrated Ka'b, whenever the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, returned from a journey in the forenoon, he would enter the mosque and offer 2 rakat before sitting. Hadīth 293. Narrated Muharib bin Dithar, Jabir bin Abdullah said, When Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, arrived at Medina, he slaughtered a camel or a cow. Jabir added, The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, bought a camel from me for 2 uqiyas, of gold, and 1 or 2 dirhams. When he reached Sirar, he ordered that a cow be slaughtered and they ate its meat. When he arrived at Medina, he ordered me to go to the mosque and offer 2 rakat, and weighed, and gave me the price of the camel. Hadīth 294. Narrated Jabir, Once I returned from a journey and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to me, Offer 2 rakat. Sirar is a place near Medina.